Notice you haven't denied it yet.
No, I would. I'd take great pleasure in that.
I know.
I just got too much respect for you, though.
Thank you. One day you will earn mine.
Warlocks.
Means you'll meet me in the hallway, America. I'm Zach Nanimus.
I'm Johnny Dem.
And today, you may notice that, if you're tuning in via RSS or something like that, what you found is a video. And we said that we were getting away from video. Well, we lied. We lied and we cheated and we stole our way back onto your television screen if you're watching us on a browser on your PS4 or whatever. I don't know that that's done. But hi. So this is a bit of a tonal shift for us. Well, not really tonal, format shift.
Format.
Yeah, we're going to be doing shorter episodes, and we're going to be doing all video content. Are we releasing audio separately in any capacity?
I haven't decided yet. It might be there available to those who want just the audio. And that's very possible.
Now, of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, subreddit,
Just minimize the screen. It's the same thing.
well, I was also saying they could leave a comment. It's just tell us what they like.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Tell us how much you hate us too.
Yeah, and also tell us your grocery list and your social security number. That'd be very helpful.
Both.
At the same time.
Right. We don't want one or the other, so don't cheap us out or whatever.
Nevertheless, it's a shorter episode, so we gotta get to the point super quick because something super exciting is happening, although we did break this story about a year ago. The Killing Joke!
Animated movie.
Yes, the animated movie.
Yeah. The Killing Joke is in the 80s, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
So the Killing Joke was a graphic novel by Alan Moore, who you may remember from The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, V for Vendetta.
All your favorite comics.
He's prolific. Yeah. The Watchmen.
Yeah, The Watchmen.
You cannot forget The Watchmen.
Fuck yeah.
And he did this. He did this weird little story about the Joker escaping, and it was just him trying to turn Commissioner Gordon into a being more like himself by trying to break his psyche. And in the process of the story being told, you learn more about the man who the Joker was, a failed comedian with a baby on the way, who had recently quit his job to pursue a career in entertainment, and he wasn't good enough, and he had to turn to crime, and then that's when he met Batman, and Batman ruined his life by dumping him into a vat of Ace brand chemicals.
Right. The one thing that they try to get across in that comic. In that graphic novel is that, the Joker's, I think is what he's trying to say is that you're just one bad day away from being the Joker or Batman. Yeah. Because both of them, it definitely goes through and kind of addresses the parallels between the two characters. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think this is, I think its claim to fame is that it's so twisted. Dark isn't even the right word.
Right.
Because dark, that can be tonal, you can use colors, or certain rhetorical themes can be added to make something dark. But most of this really reminds me of the Willy Wonka
remake?
The boat ride. No, not the remake.
I've never seen it.
But no, the original Gene Wilder Willy Wonka boat ride, where they're just going through and there's just all this twisted imagery and bright, chaotic color, which is used very well in this whole thing. And it starts with what I think is probably the most chilling thing in comics. Some of you may be familiar with character Barbara Gordon as Oracle. She's Jim Gordon's daughter, and she is a paraplegic, and she does technical support for Batman. Of course, this was prior to the New 52. She now has her use of her legs back. But the first thing that happens is the Joker shoots her straight through the spine.
Yep.
And then proceeds to strip her naked and take pornographic pictures of her as she's bleeding and dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how she lost the use of her legs.
Yeah, and it's graphic.
Well, the thing is that it's weirdly done tastefully. they're very careful with that part of the media.
Right.
They wanted the idea, but not the result.
And what I mean by graphic is it's suggestively graphic.
Yes.
And that's what's really like a little creepy about it. It's like you know what you're looking at, like, or what you should be looking at, or the rest of the picture, I guess is what you say.
Yeah, they use a lot of overlaps where like a close up is over just the right part of a wider angle.
And I think it's done all. He takes it all on like Polaroids too, so you only see parts of the Polaroids. And some Polaroids are covering up other Polaroids. So there's a
because eventually he just dumps them on Gordon. He's like, this is what's going on today.
Yep. Yeah, I know it's a weird tale, and it has a weird ending. I remember when I first read it, like that was the one part of, as sick as the whole thing was, that was really disturbing. But I was so confused by the ending. I don't want to give it away because I think it's a good punchline.
And the thing is that sometimes people wait for these movies to come out, and sometimes if they're just in graphic novel, if it's just in graphic novel format. Graphic novel format, and if they're significantly old, in this case 36 years old, then people have a tendency to kind of overlook them. But now it's going to be very much in the consciousness of our society.
So let's get away from potential spoilers and let's talk about the cast and the production crew that are putting this thing together, because this is a team that we have great respect for.
Yes.
And reason to anticipate the best interpretation of this story in animated form. Mm-hmm. For me, the voice actors. You got Mark Hamill returning, and you have Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely fantastic. That is my childhood right there. That is the Batman. If you don't know, most of you do, they worked on Batman the Animated Series back in the 90s. One of the best Batman iterations ever.
And the Justice League. Which was much sooner. And, we're watching it again. It's a little dated.
Yeah. Rise of the Phantasm, too.
I've never seen that.
Really?
Yes.
That's one of the best.
I've never seen it, and I know the title better than you.
When you start binging just on the. Did I say it wrong?
Mask of the Phantasm.
Mask of the Phantasm. My bad. Anyway, so like I said, I think we should binge just all the good DC animated films. Maybe you should do the bad ones too.
We're not gonna finish them. He was really excited about the cast, but the cast was obvious to me, and
I sorry, before you continue, I don't want to be neglect the other actor. They actually brought back a lot of voice actors. They have the original Batgirl and the guy who voiced Commissioner Gordon.
Was Batgirl Tara Strong?
That sounds familiar. You might be right. I can check while you're talking.
Okay. The thing that I needed to know, I absolutely needed to know, was who's directing it. And thankfully, we're not getting the same team.
Son of Batman?
That brought us Son of Batman. No, because Son of Batman, I have to say, is probably one of the weaker entries in recent memory for all the
terrible
DC animated stuff. And it turns out that Sam Liu is going to be directing this, and Sam Liu.
Tara Strong, you're right.
Yeah. Sam Liu. He's worked with Bruce Timm for a long time. He directed Crisis on Two Earths, which is one of my absolute favorite DC animated movies. One of my favorite animated movies overall, really. And he also brought us it's got to be the best DC animated movie, and that is Batman Year One. Mm-hmm. It's poetry, is what it is. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful movie. It's well written. It's well animated. Everything about it's well performed. I can't say enough good things about it. And the fact that we're getting this group of people, because Sam Liu's worked closely with Bruce Timm, and Bruce Timm was one of the first people that teased this, so I got to assume that he's an executive producer somewhere around there. We don't have a lot of details yet, but we know that Sam Liu, the original cast of Batman, all the people that made those, all the people that performed those stories originally and made them great are going to be there, and it's just going to be phenomenal. We usually do the show for comedy, but it's such good news
Yes.
that I can't help but just say everything I know.
And I want to say I was lucky earlier today because they released this 12-minute video of this look into and sneak peek of the video of the movie, and there's a lot of amazing footage. You hear all the main actors. They talk extensively about the different stuff and what they're going for, and it's enough to get you very, very excited. I cannot wait for it. And what's awesome, I was just looking over some stuff here, and what's even more exciting to me is not just that that's coming out.
They're bringing back the Bat Cookie.
No.
Remember Bat Cookies?
I don't.
Bat Cookies. It was Scooby-Doo meets Batman and Robin, and Shaggy and Scooby were extrememely hungry. And Batman produced a Bat Cookie from his utility belt.
Are they better than Scooby Snacks?
Oh, far and away better.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Laced them with something.
Here's the thing. Batman does have Bat Cookies.
Yeah?
Yes. Okay, the Batmobile is equipped with rations for up to 3 days. And they're probably very similar to MREs.
It's very dense.
Very, very dense, high calorie food, and very good source of calories is sugar.
This is the kind of stuff you learn in this show. Mm-hmm. No, but what I was also going to say is that we not separate from the Killing Joke, we also get to look forward to this coming. Well, actually, this year is Justice League versus the Teen Titans, and these same people are doing it. At least Sam Liu is doing it. I think it has to be some other.
I think the thing is when you say that Sam Liu's doing a project, like I think you know that it's going to garner attention from the performers and artists that we want, because.
What?
Like the project that Mark Hamill famously stopped being the Joker on. He was like, "I'm done with the Joker."
It's a video game.
Yeah, well, it was a little more than a video game. You know, it was a cross media sort of thing, and that was Injustice. And Injustice is a good game. You know that. I think it's a good game. I reviewed it. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't the kind of story that would attract Mark Hamill at this stage of his career.
Right.
Was Bruce was Kevin Conroy part of Injustice? I don't think he was.
I don't think he was either.
No.
Because it seems like every time he's voiced, whether it's a video game or in another animated film, I'm always missing his voice. When it's not him, I'm always missing his voice. His is classic to me, and it sounds perfect.
Yeah, because you can probably rattle the titles off the top of your head of video games that he's been in. He was in Batman the Animated Series for PS2. He was in all of the Arkham stuff, with the exception, I believe, of Arkham Origins, right?
You're probably right. I mean, but he's a younger Batman, so I'd expect his voice to be a little different.
Right, but the thing is that was kind of the one that nobody liked,
Right.
And so I think that in this stage of their career, they're picking their stuff very carefully. So when they know Sam Liu's on the project, they're like, yes, let's do this, please. Mm-hmm. Because it's going to be worth our time.
Anyway,
series.
Any last comments or anything about the Killing Joke?
This is one of those things that's getting my stamp of approval right before I see it. I know we often bitch about stuff that we haven't seen, but I like to try and make the point, and if I haven't done it clearly, I'd like to make it now. That when we criticize something before it comes out, we're criticizing trailers, and news, and not the thing.
We're criticizing what is put in front of us.
Yeah.
But
this time I have no problem saying this is going to be a good movie.
What did I do that to recently? I think it was Batman vs. Superman. I think. Like the last trailer they did before the movie came out was fucking great. And I was criticizing just the trailer.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was Apocalypse. X-Men Apocalypse.
Oh,
because they've got a lot of bad trailers. And that last one that came out recently was like, that's a good fucking trailer.
Yes.
The movie could still be shit, but that trailer will always remain good.
Prediction? The movie's gonna get a cool C from me, a 70.
Right. That's his prediction. Now, I want to say about The Killing Joke, super excited also. It is set or expected to debut, or at least premiere at Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, I believe that this July 2016. So look forward to that.
Comic-Con was canceled. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, they'll probably just grab a hotel and don't tell anybody about it, and they'll probably show it, and they're like, all right, we did it.
This is starting to sound more like being propositioned than a movie debut. Let's get a hotel, don't tell anybody, you know.
Yeah.
Put my phone on airplane mode, make sure my wife's out of town.
And then what they'll do, yeah, I mean, absolutely. but what they'll do is they'll act like it's a full theater. They'll probably use cardboard cutouts to look like like there's an audience. And they'll do a cell phone thing where they actually record what's on the screen, and then they'll leak it. I'm like, oh no, the thing leaked, and then
What? In a hotel room, they're going to have a tremendous projection.
You told me San Diego Comic-Con was canceled.
Yes.
I was working with what you gave me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind. So we have a little bit of time left, so there's one more bit of business to talk about. I mean, there's very little to talk about because we know nothing about it. But it's an interesting idea, I guess you could say. It is the good old-fashioned PlayStation 4000.
The PS4K,
That's what I said.
As it's rumored to be. Yeah, no, I got you. 4K being, of course, the resolution that this thing is expected to do. So the rumor is that Xbox and PlayStation will have these console and a half type of things. It's a transitionary, I guess, console for basically what they're doing is they're ramping it up, putting better hardware in their consoles, so they'll still be able to play Xbox One or PlayStation 4 games, but they're also going to be able to do more as far as the hardware goes, mostly because of VR and HoloLens, and just to have higher resolution games, 60 frames per second. It's going to cost, listen to this, $400 is what it's rumored to cost. So if you already bought one, you got to sell it or whatever. Buy that, and then you got to buy your VR headset, which is going to be another $400. You're looking at $800. I'm sure there's going to be other peripherals you want.
What was the asking price for a PlayStation?
$1,000. It was $400 when it released.
Was it?
And it came down a little bit.
And Xbox was $6. I think that was the thing.
It was $5, but I think that the $500 one. I think included the Kinect, which they ended up coming out with another version that didn't have it. That was available at launch.
Oh, so this thing's useless.
Yeah.
PlayStation doesn't make good peripherals.
Right.
They never have. And the idea that this has become such a money pit for the consumer, it doesn't actually bode well, because this is going to be really, really profitable. How cheap can we do it? Which that's kind of what PlayStation Motion was too. It looked exactly like the Wii. It was made incredibly cheap. I don't remember how expensive it was. What was the asking price for PS Motion? Oh, by the way, we couldn't find the original launch price except for the cost of the new controller that you needed for the Move that only played a few games, and that was $30 and not worth it. I don't anticipate this. I don't anticipate VR catching on. And that's going to make this next console for me worthless.
I doubt you'll buy one.
Yeah, unless that's where all their new games are releasing, then maybe. But if that's the case, I would say that this is probably the most dangerous trend in video games that I've heard about in recent memory. Because what we're setting a precedent for here is, if sales are slowing down, we can just put all of our new games on an extremely similar console with a few upgrades. What we used to do, and what they've been doing for years in Japan, was they would actually sell a peripheral that upgraded your hardware. This came in the form of the NES disk drive and the N64 disk drive.
I think I've heard of these things, but never seen them.
Yeah, there were things I can't remember if they acted like a cartridge or not, but essentially they attached in some way to your old console and upgraded the hardware so that it could do the things that they wanted to do. Which it seemed like the thing that you should do if you're trying to upgrade a console, because there's a weird dichotomy. Because when we were upgrading software back then, we were releasing brand new games. Street Fighter was like the worst the worst about this. There are like 7 different. If you wanted to play the latest in Street Fighter, you bought 7 different games over the course of like what, probably
A couple years.
Huh? Well, probably 3 or 4 years. Yeah, it was like two Turbo, Super Turbo 2, Super Turbo 2 Fighting Champion Edition. It never stopped because they didn't have a good way of updating the hardware. Now we have the software. Now we have a really good way of updating the software. So why are we going back to this dated concept of, oh, we have to update the hardware, everybody buy a brand new system? That's a dated concept that we fixed in the 80s, you know? But the answer is obvious.
Yeah.
No money.
Yeah, well, yeah, the money. But it's true. I understand why they're doing it, because the consoles as they are, they're going to struggle keeping up with the demands of the VR hardware.
Sure, and that would be a huge concern if it was going to be used.
Right, right. And I that's why the Oculus seems like it's going to come out the winner in all this VR stuff, because people that are going to buy them are already like PC building enthusiasts and stuff, so they're going to be all geeking out over it. We got like Edge of Blade, who actually will be doing an Oculus Rift review soon. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just seems like it's a very risky move at this point, I think.
The thing is that I think people are going to buy it.
There will be people that buy it. I don't know if it's going to be enough.
I don't think it's going to be a smash hit. I think they'll make their investment back.
Because, okay, what they do have going for them, though, just want to say this real quick, because I said Oculus, right, where that's for the nerdy and geeky VR people. The advantage that PlayStation has is just plug it in and go.
No. It doesn't. It lost that advantage. It lost that advantage as soon as they started talking about PS4K. It's not plug and go. It's buy a new console.
Right.
Buy a peripheral that is as expensive as a console. Plug and play.
But these are all actions that people know how to do. You don't have to be very smart. You just got to have the money. Speaking of peripherals, I can never say that word correctly. We actually have Edge of Blade has his own segment now, where he's going to review some stuff.
So take it away, Edge.
I'm Edge of Blade, and can I get a word in edgewise? I'm here today to do a quick review of the Chronos Max Plus, an adapter for almost anything you want to do with a console controller. First thing to say is that Warlocks did not receive this device for review, nor have we received any consideration or compensation for this review at this time. The top build feature of Chronos Max Plus is that it enables most current controllers for use on another console family entirely. Controllers compatible with the Chronos Max Plus are including, but not limited to, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, Xbox One, Xbox 360, Wii, Wii with Nunchuck, Wii U Pro, and most modern third-party Windows and Xbox compatible controllers. Valid target consoles and systems include Xbox One, Xbox 360, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, PC, and Android. The device does exactly what it says it does, using the most obvious mappings. It takes one controller from one console and makes it work on another, pretty much out of the box. Some target consoles do have an authentication system between the controller and the console, but the brilliant minds behind Chronos Max Plus came up with a way to use a current controller to authenticate and then switch the controller desired. They even found a way around PS4's reauthentication every 8 to 10 minutes by using almost any USB 2.0 hub lying around your house. But wait, doesn't this only work with wired controllers? That shouldn't be a deal breaker, but if it is, this adapter supports wireless. Just plug a compatible Bluetooth adapter or an Xbox 360 wireless adapter into a Chronos Max Plus adapter, and you have a wireless adapter solution. This also lets you get at those pesky Wii controllers with their wireless-only Bluetooth protocol. Let's talk button remaps. Chronos Pro is the software behind the Chronos Max Plus. It lets you remap your controls with ease with a visual programming interface. Drag and drop any button to remap to any other, including the PS4 touchpad or the Wii accelerometer. You'll also notice popular controller mod features like drop shots, rapid fire, and quick scopes. Yes, this $55 to $75 adapter replaces all of your controller mods. If you want to take your game control enhancement a little deeper, Or a lot deeper, Cronus Pro has a whole scripting language underneath the visual programming interface. After about an hour of reading up on the coding, I wrote a script to input a complex spell for Castlevania Symphony of the Night, recently enabled for backwards compatibility on Xbox One. By clicking the left stick on my controller of choice, I can cast one of the most complicated and powerful spells in the game instantly. I even went back and added additional state awareness to cast the spell based on what direction I was facing. The adapter has space for 9 script files. Now, I program for a living, so your mileage may vary, but trust me when I say this is not programming rocket science, and the visual editing suite will give you a lot of flexibility. There's a lot more this adapter can do. It also boasts keyboard and mouse compatibility for your console shooters, notably with a computer nearby. But that's not something I got into. Nor did I get into the Android compatibility, nor the Bluetooth functions. I didn't get into the plugins for the macro recorder, the quick remapper, or the adapter plugin for almost any PC controller, including flight sticks and wheels. I didn't get into the tournament mode functions that disables unfair features while retaining remaps and cross-console controller connections. But I can say, without a doubt, that Cronus Max Plus is an amazing feat of engineering that could handle a staggering number of situations, much more than I can efficiently review here. In the final word, it's hard to find negatives in this device. You could nitpick at something like its lack of support for Mac computers for Cronus Pro. But the biggest negative is a resounding positive. It is incredibly complex to enable incredible flexibility. Cronus Max Plus gets my seal of approval. I'm Edge of Blade, and this is Can I Get a Word in Edgewise? After being ousted from my hostile takeover of Warlocks, I pleaded with Zach and Johnny to be given a segment of my own to help manage my need for attention. Call it methadone for millennials. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe link for Warlocks content and point your favorite podcast app at the WarPod. Also, be sure to take a look at our Patreon page and support us if you can.
Hey everybody, that's our show. I wanted to thank everybody for tuning in once again, and of course I wanted to thank Bruce Timm, Sam Liu, Kevin Conroy, and Luke Skywalker
Mark Hamill.
for making Batman possible. And until next time, I think it's time to say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe.
Oh, you do you.